star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We're going to let them introduce themselves and tell you where they're at on the court.
Hi, I'm Anne-Marie Heights, and I'm this year's queen. I'm Olivia Child. I'm a member of the Fair Court. I'm Lauren Tomasak, and I'm the first runner-up for queen. I'm Annalise Kielman, and I'm Lindsay Uplegger, and I'm on the Fair Court.
I'm Keith McCann. I'm on the Fair Court.
I'm David Fountain, and I'm on the Fair Court.
I'm Samuel Walker. I'm the first runner-up for Fair King. And are you guys ready for the truck pull today?
All right, let's young people out here keeping the 4-H tradition alive.
Did you guys see the animals? We seen all the livestock. We got cotton candy and we rode ponies. Yeah. Did you have fun? Are you having fun? Yeah. As much fun as I can.
So we're fairly bored.
Yeah.
Game time on a track that I've walked around a little bit on it, and we talk about it every time we come here, that this is the dark art of this sport. How do you read this track and decide what you're going to do to get down it? It does not look like the usual St. Clair County 4-H track that I've become accustomed to. What do you think?
Absolutely not. Track looking better than it has in years prior. Got my start actively involved in the sport 15 years ago. Right out of the feet to play out right now. Multiple time winner in this class years prior. Looking for a repeat here tonight. This class is going to be really interesting, this one-wheel gas truck class. But we got two entries. We're going to have old school, 1984 Chevrolet, versus new school, 2016 Ford F-150. Oh, we got a Ford crowd tonight. Well, this is going to be an interesting play. But the board people don't know is that Mark's type player. He can say no and try again. Yep, absolutely. Only after Mark gets down the track for
5 years ago, we had a guy in here at a brand new Dodge on a fuel card. Yep. I wonder if one of you caught that on Monday morning. Can you imagine having to explain to the service manager
Keep it on my
this thing's
truck.
covered under warranty what you were doing? You know, I had a technical hauler crew buying 40 miles an hour at punch scale. And I got to track that just down from the reason. I don't understand that.
Like even when it disconnects and goes off. You can see it. Yeah.
You guys have counts on?
Really awesome, very fast. You're in car like on board here on 2016. Very quiet. Well, I guess I would have turned traction control off. Just remember that's illegal. You know what, Charles? We just had a first motor truck track point, which is traction control up fast. Not only that, first notified vehicle we never had told. I think you're right. Well, no. Little truck. We have a 30 and 15 for Route 1.25 and 10.5. Yeah, but tractor side do that everything. Fiberglass, aluminum, carbon fiber. Totally money. Melissa Winter's stealing truck blues. Melissa Winter's stealing truck getting across the scales. Your rocks is up. Oh, Mark just got seriously locked the oven. Apologies, Melissa. Jerry Priester. She don't have a Jerry. Jerry, here's the new truck, please. We're going to have to give him a spare one. Mark David back up the road, put it down a 303 exchange. You want to put out a good deal with you or not?
We have one more day after the start of the diesel truck. This is the last day off.
These are super muffled and shot this one off. No, that's fine. I was just giving you some feedback, that's all.
We have around 56 for another David popular with the aggregator sled to get ready for the River Street Diesel Truck Class 275 Michigan Caterpillar. TTPA brought to you all summer long by Tri-County Equipment, Michigan's premier John Deere dealer. Dan Wadsworth and the whole team. But that is a very long
time. Starting from humble beginnings on M46 west of downtown Sandusky, they've expanded the operation to cover Bad Axe, Burton, Carroll, Marlette, Lapeer, Saginaw, Birch Run, and Reese. This size brings them the flexibility to handle your needs, but they still understand the local market and the personal touch necessary for your operation. Whether it's mowers and property management tools or the sophisticated grain farm, Tri-County has what you need to get the job done. Tri-County's been a longtime partner with the Thumb Tractor Pulling Association. Now it's time for you to find the same benefits that we do. Visit www.tricountyequipment.net for more.
Well, we got done with street legal gas. We're going to keep the show moving on as we get rolling into our street legal diesel class. This is where the bug bites everybody, and talking about biting the bug, Ed Marine coming to you out of Ruby. 2005 Dodge 2500, second time he's hooked. Made a pass in Burrville this past Friday. And now he's got the bug. He wants to come out and play more.
They'll start off dead center on the track. These guys can move that sled anywhere they want to between the chalk lines. One of the widest tracks you're likely to see all season long here.
Already saw Mark David go shopping around for a line, taking that left of center line down the track. Line that normally does not work here.
No.
And paid off in dividends for Mark. Let's see what that can get done. $269.82 for Ed Marine. 269.82 feet. $16.3 miles on that pass.
Mark David, if you'd please bring that drawbar hitch back to the track, please. Mark David, we need that drawbar hitch brought back out to the track, please.
Ed goes, I haven't broken anything yet. I'm going to come back and play again. Now, I know we're reading up on the book, but I see him back in the starting lanes. Looking for Jeremy Priester out of Ortonville. But we're going to skip him. Melissa Winters, coming out of Sterling Heights. 1996 Ford F-350.
Are going to skip down the order past Jeremy Priester. Get your truck up in line, please. Melissa Wicks out of Sterling Heights, 1996 Ford F-350 regular cab. No official lead distance at this point. Last minute instructions for Melissa Winters. She gets the chain tightened up. Green lights are on. Green flags are flying. Ford Power Stroke on the line here. An early one.
Melissa lifted a little early, 2:42 and 86, 242.86 feet, 12.2 miles an hour on that pass.
Special thanks to the St. Clair County Ag Society, M. Nolan Farms, Ross and Garden, and Water Equipment for their sponsorship of the TTPA Truck and Tractor Pull here at the St. Clair County 4-H Fair. As always, if you've got any business with these companies in the coming weeks, please let them know that you appreciate their putting their money where their mouth is so we can bring this wonderful event to you tonight. To bring up Dana O'Rourke out of Marine City. Ford Power Stroke, a 6.4 in this one.
Yeah, Dana no stranger to the street legal classes. We'll see him again in Armada. Saw him down in Smiths Creek in September, and in the Harvest Days pull here in Goodell's fourth weekend in August. So no stranger to making a hook.
For the longest time in the sport of diesel truck pulling, it's been Duramax versus Cummins. This 6.4 Power Stroke is starting to really make some believers out of people.
Yeah, they're finding a lot more horsepower out of these trucks. We have two running the TTPA Points Tour now in our 2.5 diesel class. You will see them tomorrow night as we go into truck night, but definitely turning heads. The 6.0 7.3 are kind of falling to the wayside as the 6.4 is now becoming the Power Stroke workhorse for these Ford Power guys.
Green lights and green flags are in the air for Dana O'Rourke.
Could tell Dana's used to pulling, pedaling that truck. 299 and 16 for Dana O'Rourke. 299.16 feet, 22 miles an hour even.
Good looking run. There was only one small problem. It did the Ford IFS shimmy shake.
Oh, they sell parts of that. Rolling Coal Customs.
Yep, they do. Time for upgrades.
Well, I'm sure with the money he made coming here today, it definitely would cover the bill.
Yep, the first two bolts on the left side.
Prize money went up this year.
If you're in the sport to make money, you're in the wrong game. Special thanks to the Emmett Fire Department, Canoke Township Fire and Rescue, Richmond Lennox EMS, Tri-County Equipment John Deere, Westview Orchards, and Blue Water Equine for their sponsorship. and not only sponsorship when it comes to our safety team. Thanks, guys. We hope we never need you, but if we do, we won't be able to thank you enough.
Oh, absolutely. These guys coming out here, getting to put on a good show, but have to be on their A game at all points in time, because anytime you're involved in motorsports, you never know when things are going to go wrong, and boy, does it happen quickly.
Look, we got a drone.
We had a drone last year, too, and I never got to see the footage, so whoever's flying that around,
Quit holding out on us.
yeah, come find us over here, one of the Sidetrack crew members, and we want to get in touch with you.
The one shot I haven't seen, and I've seen plenty of drone footage of pulling tracks, I want to see the thing just get enveloped in smoke and maybe get blown off its axis a little bit.
You never know, maybe Chris Clair can get that done today. Coming to you out of Memphis, 2005 Chevrolet 2500. First look at a Duramax for us.
Counterintuitive setup for pulling. We're used to seeing the pulling Duramaxes squat way down in the front, keep those axle half shafts parallel. This one's lifted.
He likes tie rods.
Side load on the CV shafts.
Oh,
Do I need a helmet?
kryptonite parts, rare parts, whichever you prefer. But no, got to see him make a pass down in Burrville this past Friday. Very good looking lifted Chevrolet. We will not see it do the Duramax. Never getting the wheel speed up that he needed. 269 and 53. 269.53 feet. Hey, Charles, I found him.
Yep. And you know what? So did the rest of the internet.
Yeah, I guess you should tell the folks what we got going on today.
Monday nights at 8 o'clock, we are live broadcasting this event. If you go to our www, find us, and it will be on YouTube for replay after this is over, and you'll be able to see tomorrow night's action as well. So if you can't return tomorrow night and want to keep up with what's going on here with the Thumb Tracker Political Association, you'll be able to watch from home or wherever you can get it on your mobile device. And if you got friends and neighbors who can't make it out tonight, let them know about it. Social media is the best way, and find us on Facebook, Sidetracked with Armstead and Posh. There's links right in there. And to keep up with the rest of us here in the TTPA, find us at www.ttpa.us for the latest news, results, schedules, the rulebook, and more.
Another truck we got to see in Burrville this weekend. Brandon Tickle coming to you out of Emmett. 2006 Ford F-250. Another truck coming out of the Rolling Coal Custom Stable there in Romeo.
It's kind of a high-density area right there, Romeo, on 33 Mile.
Yeah, just down the road you got HSP calling you guys which diesel shop he wants to do work on his truck.
You mean that guy?
That guy does a really good job with Mazdas. .280 and 79. 9 feet, 13 an hour.
Three trucks to go in local street diesel. And our next class will be the loudest class of the night. Fair warning, advance notice. Especially if you got little ones here with you, you're going to want to afford them some hearing protection because we're going to pump up the volume with the V8 Hot Rods. Next up. Thumb Tractor Pulling Association is brought to you by Thumb Bioenergy, committed to affordable alternative fuels right here in the Thumb of Michigan. Using locally sourced raw materials, employing friends and neighbors in regional processing locations, and offering the best biodiesel and ethanol options for sale right here. Thumb Bioenergy is committed to energy independence and economic growth for Michigan. Some of the diesel pullers in competition here tonight are running bio. They find more power doing so. Visit www.thumbbioenergy.com to learn more. Rick Cover out of Richmond, 1986. That can't be right. Ford. It's got the 6.9 IDI in it. Old school Ford diesel power getting backed into the line here.
Brand new truck for Rick, just getting it into paint. Out of paint last week. Saw him run last year with a 12-valve Cummins-powered OBS Ford. Kind of interested to see what he does with this one.
He went from a Cummins to a 6.9 IDI. Yep. Okay.
He had a 24-valve at one point, and he sold it. Just can't help it. Not a bad looking run for a truck with no 240.64 feet. 10.9.
I love the smell of race gas. It's a perfect dessert. Aids digestion. Jeremy Priester finally got his truck up in line. I think he's going to come out on track next.
He knows better.
Yeah, he does. But you know, spending all day long putting tile on floors and walls and having to deal with all that thin set would make anybody forget where they are.
You know, I don't think I've ever... This truck looks like a NASCAR truck as far as builders involved.
Well, he doesn't want to put all his eggs in one basket, you know.
We've got Fire Pump. We've got Legendary. We've got Bad Girl Diesel. We've got DNR Customs.
Maybe it's all that contingency money when he goes drag racing.
Very well could be. Jeremy Priester out on with the track with his daily driver. 2005 Dodge Common Rail. Did not have a good run down in Burrville. Popped a boot off the intake, dumping all the boost out.
Daily driver, eh?
Yep.
He uses it for work?
Yep.
If you got a bathroom job being done by this guy tomorrow morning, he might be late.
Thank God he's got a half-ton backup. But no truck actually set up to drag race. Jeremy very active in that sport, but likes getting in front of the sled every once in a while to find out what real horsepower does.
Pretty much everybody coming off the starting line from the exact same spot, dead center. That's probably more Jim Storm's choice than the drivers. Nobody really exercising the opportunity to move that cone back there and try a different spot on the starting line. They've got this one worked in pretty well, and I expect when we move into the V8 Hot Rods, we won't see any changes there. But Those are going to two-wheel drive, and on a bigger tire, they might start shopping on this track just a little bit. We'll follow that as we go through the evening. Green lights and green flags for Jeremy Priester.
.312.07, and he goes to the number 1 spot. 23.7 miles an hour.
That got the crowd to wake up a little bit, didn't it?
I think we might have ticked Jeremy off.
Not as much as what this next guy might.
I haven't seen this guy, and
I'm going to say 2006 is the last time I read this name off an entry sheet.
yeah, 10 years.
If you have one of the TTPA hitches still in your truck back in the pit area, could you please bring that back out to us? If you have one of the TTPA hitches back in the pit area from your run, we need it back out to the track, please.
I gotta be honest. Yeah, what's up, honey? Big old Michael.
Well, here we go. Out of Dundee, Michigan, down by the Ohio State line, Dale Swiderski. Last time he was on a track with a pulling truck, we called the class 2.8.
Wow.
Yeah, going back to some ancient history. I understand that this truck has been up to DHD in Harbor Beach and had a little bit of work done on it. So,
His maiden
leader at 3 challenge backing into the sled right now.
2 to go left in the class, still waiting for our test puller.
Street diesel pickup class. They will be followed by the 5,700-pound V8 hot rods. And once again, if you got little ones with you, get some hearing protection ready for them, because we're going to turn the volume up to 11. Green lights on the aggravator. Green flags go in the air for Dale Swiderski.
Even with lead, 18 and 63. 318.63 feet, 23.5 miles an hour.
Quarter from bouncing his head off the roof of that cab.
He's going from the Carl Cross method of launches.
We're used to Carl doing that. He's a regular cab, but to see a crew cab 8-foot bed truck come all 4 tires up onto the track, that's impressive.
Tony, I don't even want to know how much it costs to do that.
The bigger question is, can Troy do it?
Ed Marine out of Ruby coming back up on the hook. Turned down a 269 and 82. Had him near the bottom of the order. Lead mark still sitting out there. 318 and 63.
Well, how about it? Is it going to be the Dodge Cummins or the Chevy Duramax? How about the Dodge?
All right, where's my Chevy fans? We just answered that one.
All in good fun here.
Out
The
here.
economy coming back in this state. I see their yellow iron starting to move again, building subdivisions in my neck of the woods, and that's something I haven't seen since about 2008, so that's good.
Every time you see a piece of yellow iron going down the road, it means things are going well. Ed Marine coming out of Ruby. Green lights on the sled and green flags fly.
Oh,
I know
my.
that sound.
Wow.
284 and 59 for Ed Marine.
Let's see, is it back up?
He did improve on his first run, 19.6 miles an hour.
He improved on the run, but I don't know if he improved on his bank account balance
Sponsorship limit.
in the local diesel truck class.
Well, give us a moment here as we gather up Ed's parts. First, you join of the night. Take a moment to get him off the track and get it where he can figure out what he's got to do to get home. Nice part of him being four-wheel drive, you can pull that rear drive shaft out and still limp it home with the front two wheels.
Class. There's still first tractor up out of Gaylord, Michigan. Mark Doobie, the driver. Jerry Doobie, the owner. The little green tractor. This one has a different power plant than you're going to see in the rest of the class. This one is an LS Chevrolet.
One of them ever popular LS swaps?
One of the ever popular LS swaps. He's one of the few people on the planet that can say, hey, I LS swapped the 3010.
Yeah. One of two tractors you'll see Mark campaigning here today and fight a lot of gremlins with a little green tractor. Seems he got to figure out on different tires on the back.
Yeah, he did make a rubber change. Let's see how that plays out. Starting dead center on our track. Green lights, green flags, the little green tractor, Mark Doobie.
Great looking pass for the little green tractor. 316 and 18 for Mark Doobie. 316. 23.8 miles an hour.
Clutched it once on the starting line, trying to keep the RPMs up and stay on top of the cam. There's a 7,000 RPM limit chip on these tractors. And they are hooked to the sled by the chain, the kill switch, and a monitor for that. He's going to keep it. 3:16 and 18 will be your lead mark.
Really not surprised Mark's going to keep that run. Probably the best looking pass we've seen out of the Little Green Tractor this season.
The V8 Hot Rod class brought to you once more here in 2016 by Clark Welding Service. And wouldn't you know it, here's the man himself, Wayne Clark, out of Berlin Township, the Silver Fox, Oliver 88 Ford. Owner of Clark's Welding Service down in Shelby Township on Old Van Dyke between 24 and 25 Mile Road. A lot of work on primarily trailers, but he'll work on anything. Made some changes during the offseason of this tractor. Brand new Ford Bullet got installed in this one, and he tested it at the Great Lakes Classic indoor event at the Shiawassee County Fairgrounds last October. Made a couple of passes underneath the roof, liked what he felt. Went back to work over the wintertime, lowered the roll cage down. It's a lowrider style now. On radial tires, he was one of the early adopters of radials in this class, and it's a very, very stiff chassis. In fact, on Friday night up in Minden City, he took a very wild ride, had about 18 inches of daylight under the left side tire. He'd like a smoother run right here.
.312 and 14 for Wayne Clark. 314.12 feet, 23.3 miles an hour.
Pretty much just what the doctor ordered. It was bouncing a little bit on the front end, but it was hooked in and smooth at the back.
Now, Charles, I'm sure you've noticed 2 tractors in the books already. Haven't heard one get on that rev limiter switch trip yet. This track's taking some power here today.
Come to think of it, I don't know that I've really heard anybody dance on the chip yet this year.
Yeah, I have.
Few and far between. Special thanks to Perch Point Conservation Club, Al Parsh Oil and Propane.
Hubbard in the Coyote Ugly Oliver 88 Chevrolet power plant under the hood.
Todd went and bought this tractor during the offseason from Ed Odoffer. It had been parked for about 3 seasons. Both the driver and the tractor are past champions of the class, but it's a new combination for them. Todd's been very strong on this tractor, has some wins already in the 2016 season, made a camshaft change in this power plant last week. Said he was having to come out of the hole with way too many RPMs. He wants to be able to walk it out just a little bit slower now, and he made that change for Minden City, and it worked out a lot better on Friday night. Now he's going to try it out right here in Goodles and see how it goes. Look for this tractor to leave the line in a cloud of clutch dust.
.323 and 36. Todd Humbert goes to the number 1 spot.
That hangs on for the win. They won't call it Coyote Ugly anymore.
.24.4 miles an hour on that pass.
You know what? That might have been the fastest V8 hot rod lap I've seen this summer.
Pretty close.
I'll bring up Bob Shout out of Clifford, Michigan. Cockshut chassis, Ford Power. Bob's piled up a couple of wins on the season already here in 2016. First time a non-small block Chevy has been a winner in this class in approximately 5 years. He went to new tires out back, and those new shoes are really working.
Absolutely. Well, I guess we can still call it the Flying Grinder. We've never been told it isn't yet.
Yeah, back in the days when this tractor was a combination of yellow and red, it had the Flying Grinder name on it. And, yeah, we don't know that it's been changed at all. We're still calling it that.
But massive, massive change coming to it. Just by swapping them tires, really found a lot more footprint to get the power of the ground. Jack, easy for me to say today.
Shout family very heavily involved in the sport of pulling. You'll find cousins, brothers, and sisters scattered on entry sheets anytime we unload the trailers at a TTPA event.
.328.31, the Flying Grinder goes to the number 1 spot. 25 miles an hour even.
And he didn't have any more because we were talking about that rev limiter. Yep, he was tickling
He was right
it.
there.
Back in the days when this class ran on a 6,000 RPM limit, there were engine builders all over the place that said you could not run a tractor like that and be bouncing off a rev limiter without destroying an engine. Well, leave it to us farm boys to prove that wrong. Now we've gone to the 7,000. We don't hear it nearly as often, but we used to hear guys on the 6,000 chip all the time.
Big change also going from the automatic transmission to the slipper clutch, able to slip it out farther, not pegging it off the line like they used to, as they're trying to pedal it out as far as they can before they go 1-to-1.
That's a good point. That might have been why we saw the demise of the automatics anyway. On the 6,000 chip, they had to walk it out there and then bang a higher gear because they just couldn't turn the engine any tighter. But when we went to 7,000, that's probably why we saw the move away.
Next up on the hook, John Smith coming to you out of Snover. Farm All M Chevrolet power plant under the hood. Brand new bullet for John for this season. Second motor in 2 years as he's finally made the upgrade up to the big motor. Saw John running many years, small block 350 power plant in there just to keep him out there and going. The Simmons family stepping up, helping him get the new motor in it. Made a few passes with it last year and said, nope, I'm not happy with it yet. Pulled the motor down, went through it completely, and has found a lot more horsepower, utilizing some old technology and some innovative new stuff.
And just how much horsepower are we talking about? The top guys in this class are making power numbers that begin with a 6. Something interesting about the engine build on this particular tracker is that intake manifold. It's not aluminum, it's a composite material. Runs about 30% cooler, and they say it's worth about 30 horse on the dyno. It has a factory-built different sets of spiders you can put in there for tuning the airflow.
Green lights, green flags for John Smith. That did not sound healthy. 258.30 for John Smith. 258.30 feet.
It's kind of what it did on Friday night in Minden City. Same sort of sound to it.
13.6 miles an hour.
Union Stores and the St. Clair County Road Commission for sponsoring tonight's event.
And our VIP sponsors of the night, Michigan Cat, Located right down at the west end of the track.
Thumb Tractor Pulling Association brought to you by Osentoski Farm Equipment, your family-owned and operated dealer. Located east of downtown Bad Axe on M142 since 1954 and at the southeast corner of Pigeon since 1968. They have a full line of Case IH farm equipment from mowers to the latest specialized beet harvesters. Osentoski Farm Equipment has all your agricultural needs covered and backed by the support of a professional team. Surf over to www.osentoskifarmequipment.com.
Back to VA pulling action. Jack McMurtry on the hook right now, coming to you out of Yale. Massey Harris 44 special.
First time for Jack to be out for 2016. This is one of the oldest tractors in this class. This is an originator going back to the mid-1990s when V8 hot rods were first making their start with the TTPA. Jack and Bill took a handful of seasons off. We started seeing them appear on tour again in 2013 on partial schedules, and that's about all we see them for. But it's a competitive tractor. They've been known to sneak in top three here and there. All that experience coming to the fore for the McMurtry team out of Yale.
.297 and 94 for Jack McMurtry. 297.94 feet. 20.4 miles an hour.
Hi, Bob. We'll get you that corn dog right away.
Want an elephant ear too, Bob?
Yeah, McMurtry's look like they're on new shoes as well. That'll bring up Mark Doobie for his second effort. Otta Gaylor, the Minneapolis Moline U302 chassis Chevrolet Power calls it Mo Foolishness. Mark, the owner of Doobie Welding Company, they do a lot of fabricating, especially on heavy equipment, stuff in rock quarries and things like that, but they also do work on motorsports parts as well. Something else that he's really involved with is he's an avid snowmobiler. He's done some charity snowmobile rides from the state of Michigan up into Quebec, and I think he's ridden from the UP to Alaska a couple of times. He has built and designed his own trail groomer for snowmobile trails up north. If you go snowmobiling, chances are you've been on a trail that was prepped by a Doobie Welding trail groomer, and that design has actually been adapted to one of our track groomers. The lead track groomer is a modification of that exact design, but this time we're using it on dirt. Thanks to Mark Doobie for that.
Green lights on the sled. Green flags fly for Mo Foolishness. .321 and 91 for Mark. 321.91 feet. Do believe that will put him in the number 3 spot.
Plenty of ground speed at 24.3. He's right in there. It looks like you're going to have to dial up a number in the 24s somewhere if you want to extend that distance out there into the 320s and keep up with these guys. Bob Shout putting that Ford power plant into the lead right now. Let's see if the Chevy guys have anything for them. 2 tractors to go, and they're good ones.
Yep, 2 big bullets left in the stable. Looking for Mike Jennings. Next up on the hook, coming to you out of Swartz Creek. And I can't believe I'm saying this, Co-op E5 power. Chevrolet.
Mike's been doing some substitute driving for the owner of this tractor, Kevin McNult, and he's been doing a heck of a good job with it. The Jennings team has both of their V8 hot rods sidelined here in this season with significant engine damage for one and waiting on parts for the other. Hasn't stopped them from coming out and going pulling anyhow, though. Their light limited super stock is here. You're going to get to see that later tonight. It is also orange painted, but it's not a co-op. We'll introduce it to you shortly. In the meantime, Mike Jennings, ready to go. The Co-op E5 Chevy, owned by Kevin McNult. This tractor was your winner in this class here 1 year ago.
Mike trying that left-hand line, not paying off. 318 and 31 for Mike Jennings. 318.31 feet. 23.5 miles an hour on that pass.
Tractor started to make a move up into that right side corner. He didn't have any choice but to let it go, because if he'd have tapped the brakes to bring it back, he would have cost some distance anyway.
Yeah, one thing holding consistent on this Goodles track today, that right-hand side still isn't going to pay off.
No, it usually doesn't. Probably the bigger surprise to me is these soft spots and these holes on the left side. Usually in past years we can see guys run this chalk line right tight, but they can't tonight.
No, going to be aiming basically straight up the middle. As far as my eye looks, I have not had a chance to actually walk the track and see how the lines are coming out.
I think straight up the middle is probably pretty good through 250. Beyond that, there is some softness to the right side just a little bit, and that wasn't there when we started the program. I think these guys are running up through there and churning it up just a little bit, and we're not packing it back in as effectively as we did with early track prep.
Next up on a hook, veteran tractor puller and a legend in his own right,
Absolutely.
Richard Kalzak, coming to you out of Corona. This Chevrolet-powered Farmall 450.
This guy's done some pretty big things in the sport of pulling. He's been a national champion in Division 4 with the National Antique Tractor Pullers Association in the wintertime. He's won in the Super Stocks at Bowling Green a long time ago, specifically the year that I was born.
Wow, that is a long time ago.
Yeah, Richard's been in this game a long time. Don't you say it.
Man, you're old.
Thank you.
No, one of the few shifter tractors still left out there. Don't see Richard grab for that Linko 2-speed very often anymore. But one track he is known to do it is right here in Goodles, as this track will take every ounce of power it could take.
One of two tractors he campaigns. The other is a 6 farm.
.323 and 75 for Richard Kalzak. 323.75 feet. 23.9 miles an hour.
That'll put him at number 2, and that engine was not happy.
No, definitely did not sound healthy going down the track. Almost expected to see him reach that 2-speed lever and try to get off the rev limiter. Do not know if there's something going on in the ignition system, or he was right up that on that 7,000 RPM chip.
Ninth spot will go to John Smith. 8th to Jack McMurtry. 7th place goes to Wayne Clark. 6th to Mark Doobie on the Little Green Tractor. 5th spot to Mike Jennings. 4th to Mark Doobie with the Moline Mo Foolishness. 3rd spot to Todd Humpert and Coyote Ugly. 2nd to Richard Kalasek. And your winner tonight, his 3rd of the season with a cockshut Ford, Bob Shout. Once again, this event is being broadcast live online at www.sidetrackpulling.com. If you go to the live page, you'll find us. Or if you're on Facebook, look for Sidetrack with Armstead and Posh. There's links there as well. You'll find this event. Got the T-shirt cannon out. I had to wonder at first. They had a Cheez-It box. That could have been interesting. Still could if their aim is lower. I don't know what would happen if you take a T-shirt to the face at about 85 miles an hour, but it can't be good. Once again, thanks to Michigan Caterpillar for sponsoring tonight's event. In addition to them, the St. Clair County Ag Society, M. Nolan Farms, Ross Seals Farm and Garden, Tom Wards and Sons, Blue Water Lift Truck, and Carlton Equipment. $8,000 diesel pro stock tractors next class up. We've got 5 of them on the entry. 3,500 RPM. 407 cubic inch maximum, 2.5 in through the turbo, 2.8 out on the exhaust side. They are P-pumped, 3000 series, like their big brothers in Super Farm. They do have water injection like their big brothers in Super Farm. Ben Booms out of Harbor Beach to play in Dirty International. It's an 856 underneath that MXM sheet metal. Ben did not have a good start to his 2016 campaign. Had a brand new engine installed in this tractor, made a lap down the track and heard a ticking noise. Thought it was a timing issue with the fuel pump. But to be sure, they dropped the oil pan to check and found all kinds of parts in there and pieces and chunks. What they found out was that the sleeves had cracked and were starting to slide down the cylinders, and the crankshaft was just shaving them off. Destroyed a brand new engine, but he's got a new bullet in it and ready to go. Ben Booms, test puller out of Harbor Beach, the Playin' Dirty International. Look at that run, 338 and 16, 338.16, 22.8 miles per hour. It'd be really hard for him to want to turn that one down.
No, great looking run to see Ben come back out with. Been a tough season, both tractors down. Great to have the 8000 Diesel Pro Stock. Looking to see Magnum Force back out soon.
Yeah, he said probably a couple more weeks.
I know, I already asked him. He said, well, I can't use the weed excuse anymore. Then we got to ask for a sponsorship.
Thumbs up all around, just as expected. So 338 and 16 will be the lead distance.
Backing out, look right now, Ryan Sheehan coming to you out of Reese with In the Pickle. Farmall 856 Gold Demonstrator Edition.
Ryan's program sponsored again this year by Michael Sarr Crop Insurance and Steiner Tractor Parts.
Ryan, another one who has not been able to get away with breakage the past 2 seasons, has had to miss pulls, waiting on parts. Great to have them back together and out running with us this season. Looking forward to seeing the John Deere come out of their camp again, piloted by Sister Dana.
Also got to give a thank you out to Michael Sarr Crop Insurance because they jumped on board with the TTPA to fund the whole program last week, so thanks to them.
.322 and 46 for Ryan Sheehan, 322.46 feet, 21.8 miles an hour.
I'll bring up TL Bushy out of Gott's Corners. 4010 model John Deere. This is one of two tractors in this class that's going to have an aluminum front subframe and front axle. Son Jed's is set up the same way. Everybody else is tubular chromoly steel. They went to the aluminum last year trying to shave some weight. Within this sport, we want to get these pulling vehicles as light as we possibly can, maintain strength and integrity in case weights anywhere they want to. That's part of this sport is chassis setup. Do you put it on the front? Do you put it on the belly bar and fryers? Do you hang it out back, hanging off the ground just a couple inches up front? Too high, you lose drawbar height. Reduces your leverage at the back. Too low, the rear tires are not hooked in and you're not going forward. Chassis balance very, very important in this sport, as is tire pressure, gear selection, and the tune on the engine itself. You can make all the horsepower in the world, but if you can't put it in the track, it's not going to do you any good. Green lights on the aggravator. Waiting for green flags to turn TL Bushy loose.
.314 and 19 for TL Bushy. 314.19 feet.
21.2 miles per hour. These guys do pay attention to that ground speed number, that maximum terminal velocity. That tells them a little bit about how their gear ratio was working versus the track conditions. These guys keep extensive notebooks on a lot of the places that they go to. The tendencies within each track will be similar year over year. Not identical, but similar. We've already talked about how this track looks different to us this year versus years past. The dirt consistency is similar, but the line down it is different. There is some substantial softness in this dirt on the left side, where usually it's fairly hard and guys find a good line down through there. Tomorrow night, you may see that traditional Goodall's line come back in. Doug Air, the Greenhouse Effect out of Bad Axe, Michigan. John Deere, they've been running very hard in 2016, finding that top-level performance that had eluded them for a number of years.
Absolutely great having the Greenhouse Effect back in its prior form and what we're used to seeing on it. Past couple of years have been a tough go for them, suffering breakage not only on the track but on the dyno, trying to get everything tuned in to make it out on the track. One of three drivers in the seat. Doug sharing driving duties with brothers Denny and Don. See older brother Steve in our 10 farm class.
And he always knows exactly where to go down the track because he's got RTK signal.
Yep. Well, a few pullers, they have a GPS mount on their tractor. I don't know if it works that well, though. I've never heard auto steer being utilized on a pulling track.
I don't think it's legal. Something about must maintain one hand on the wheel at all times.
Green lights, green flags for the Greenhouse Effect. .341 and 38. Doug goes to the number one spot. 23 miles an hour even.
Down our last tractor and diesel pro stock, Jed Bushy out of Gott's Corners, the 4055 sheet metal John Deere.
Now, we do have to note something that occurred in Burrville last week, and I've just got official confirmation. The end of the run for TL Bushy in Burrville, 2 weights fell off. There was rumor that there possibly could have been sabotage by Jed and his younger brother and another accomplice. Well,
Does that accomplish have the initials of JG?
so
I
word
saw some faces get made, though.
that the bolt. So Jed better watch out.
You know what?
What?
I'm going to give an alibi for this.
Oh, do tell.
Turn around, look what's popping up over the trees.
Ah, full moon. Explains why we're out here today. No, Jed, a very accomplished mechanic in the pulling world in his own right. 21 years old, has been the main wrench on both tractors, getting them built. Jed originally starting off in our intro 10 farm class before his official third season, now running in our 8,000 diesel pro stock. Let's see if the John Deere can get it done. Catching Tweety Bird in that turbo at the end. 318 and 85 for Jed. 318.85 feet. 21.2 miles an hour.
You can see on Jed's run that 3,500 RPM limit in play from about 120 to 200 feet. The smoke went away as the governor defueled that motor. And when the load came back on beyond 200, it came right back. Final rundown on the 8,000 diesel pro stocks. TL Bushy in 5th spot. Jed Bushy number 4. Third will go to Ryan Sheehan in the Pickle International. Second to Ben Booms with Playin' Dirty. And Doug Error, the Greenhouse Effect. John Deere is your winner. Well, we're going to have some fun with this next class. 10,000-pound farm tractors are a points class with a TTPA, and when we run them under a point situation, they run at 10 miles per hour speed limit. Tonight, they're here, but they are not running for points, which means we get to be de-restricted and see how fast these guys can go.
Well, we have a break in the action as we make a weight change on our sled in preparation for the 10 farm class. We'd like to thank some of our sponsors here today helping us get this event done. As always, our on the west end of the track, thank you to them. Also, St. Clair County, Carlton Equipment, the Emmett Fire Department, Kanoke Township Fire and Rescue, Richmond Lennox EMS, Tri-County Equipment, Westview Orchard, and Blue Water Equine, just some of the people helping us get the job done here at the St. Clair County 4-H and Youth Fair 2016. Just shotgun most cut.
No noise, super loud. I'll probably just bring it back.
All right, we're going to get underway in our 10,000 pound farm class. First up on the hook, backing into the sled right now, Mark Stacer coming to you out of Harbor Beach, the International 766. Third year campaigning this tractor for Mark, has been in the top 3 in the points chase, but has not been able to seal the deal and get the number 1. This year we do have a change in the 10 farm class. For the first time in the class existence, we will not have a repeat winner. 4-0 family not able to be. Game is open for anybody.
Both the girls are busy with school, doing internships and whatnot. That's taken them away. Randy's been out on partial schedule, but we will see a new champion in 10 farm. He's got her turned up. The candle was lit coming out the stack.
Great looking pass from Mark Stacer. 315 and 77. 315.77 feet. And give you an idea, you could tell Mark was holding back, but 14.3 miles an hour. We have seen it. We know there's a lot more left in that motor.
Yeah, that tractor's good for a couple more mile per hour yet. But that was the gentleman's agreement in the driver's meeting.
Yep. Mark will turn down his run, come back in the bottom of the order.
I saw this next guy on his way to work this morning, towing the tractor behind him. I was headed eastbound on 69 on the way to the office, and he was going over on the overpass at Riley Center.
This guy really doesn't actually work.
No.
On the hook right now, Kyle Broll coming to you out of Macomb. Ford 9000, brand new fit tractor to the Broll team. Buying this off of Jared Penzine in the offseason. Kyle's sharing driving duties with Father Jim. First time we've seen Kyle in the seat in a couple events.
Yeah, Dad's been doing the driving here in recent weeks.
And I'll go out on a limb here. Dad's been doing a little better than son.
Yes, he has been. He shakes his head no.
Is it the technique?
Too modest.
Experience? Better looks? That got a vigorous head shake. It's his story. We'll let him tell him how. Lights. Green flags for Kyle Broll. Kyle having the candle lit. 294 and 95. 294.95 feet. 11.4 miles an hour.
I don't know who that is, but they really spiked their diesel fuel. That's some fragrant stuff. I got one other question, Jim. Tanya wants to know when the girls are going to drive.
Maybe Armada making them wait. Another new driver to the sport of truck and tractor pulling in the 10 farm class. Neil Card coming to you out of Riley with the International 1456.
Yep, this tractor changed hands, but it really didn't change its zip code. It only had to move about 10,000 feet north. This is a true bareback, no TA 1456. It wasn't stripped. It came off the line that way. Ed Schubert's
what you would refer to
farm class and moving it on to Neil for this season so that he could concentrate on his own light limited super. You're going to see some light limited supers here in a bit.
always coming out of his stables. This 1456 really fits in perfectly for him. Great to have him out pulling, still learning, still trying to get everything figured out. A lot to learn in this sport at one time, not just involving the tractor, but involving the track and your driving style. It will evolve the longer you're involved in the sport, but unfortunately no qualifying, no practice sessions, no tested tunes, one shot to get everything figured out. Neil Card on the 1456. Not Neil, 309 and 36, 309.36 feet Saturday, but definitely not getting the required fuel needed to the tractor. Never saw that smoke come over much more than a dull haze.
No, and it definitely was sounding a little bit sick. Oh, this guy's doing double duty tonight.
He is. Wouldn't be a first time.
Nope.
Won't be a last.
Not for a guy as addicted to pulling as this fella is.
Now, are those fire pants I see on?
Might be.
Family, 886. Been stablemates, sharing trailers, going to events for the past 2 seasons. Second year for the tractor for the Kiesler family.
Probably one of the more powerful tractors we've got in the 10,000 farm class. It's right up in there. They got some work to do to get it a little bit lighter, though. There's still a lot they can take out of this frame.
Yeah, a very heavy chassis to start with, starting right about 13,000 pounds. Tractor only came equipped with either a ROPS roller protection system or a cab, so to get it down to an open station like it is, a lot of work had to be put into it, but a great looking tractor for the Kiesler family. Let's see if Pat can figure out how to get this one dialed in and down the tracks. Green lights, green flags for 16 and 25. 316.25 feet puts him.
He did dust off the fire suit pants and the shoes. Does that mean we get to call him a hot shoe?
Wow.
Yeah.
Breaking out all your best material tonight.
Yeah.
Go back to the dollar store. They might have a Jokes for Dummies book.
That was a look I just got from Dan. This next guy up, probably the highest horsepower out of the 10 farms. Definitely the lightest chassis.
Absolutely. Mike Broll coming to you out of K-Pac with a good paint 766.
That's the only one we're going to get tonight, too. He doesn't have bad paint here.
Nope.
Lots and lots of aluminum has gone into this tractor in places you cannot see, and the evidence of that is right on that belly bar. There's probably 1,600 pounds slung underneath this tractor that ordinarily would be in other places holding critical parts.
Yeah, most visible change made for this season is going to that ultra lightweight narrow front end. Did have a narrow front end when the tractor debuted, but go. A lot of popping coming out of Mike's tractor. 314 and 25, 314.25 feet.
Probably a bit nose heavy. He never got the tires hooked into the track and pulled that governor open to really dump the fuel and make some power. It was just a spinning.
Last year, completely removing that, putting the TA delete shaft in, removing the ability to make that upshift while going down the track. Escape breakage, the bulk of the season's out. But another tractor that finally removed them ROPS last year.
Thank God. Whew.
.309 and 40 for Dan. 309.40 feet.
.6 miles per hour for Dan. Down to 2 to go. Pat Genuine out of North Branch. Second effort. Already been down the track once in a substitute role on the Kiesler tractor. Special thanks to Michigan Caterpillar for their sponsorship tonight. Green lights and green flags for Pat Genuine.
Pat Genuine, 301.96 feet, not going to catch the lead mark.
12.2 miles per hour. Getting down toward the end of our program, we've got light limited super stock tractors as well as some hot diesel trucks still back in the staging lanes to bring out to you. Tomorrow night, 6:30. We'll be right back here once more. We've got the Super Farm tractors on the schedule tomorrow night, Pro Street pickups, super stock trucks, 2.5 diesel trucks, and a local gas and local diesel once more. But as I said, not done yet tonight. We got light limited supers and hot diesel trucks. A couple of, well, one is a true 3.0 truck. The other was built as 2.5. I'm hearing it's being converted over. How extensive that conversion is, I don't know just yet. Mark Stacer coming back out now. He was a test puller, turned away a 3:15.77, would have been good enough for second place.
.3:15.41 for Mark Stacer, 315.41 feet.
14.4 miles per hour. He did not go as far. He had a 3:15.7 first in the 7th spot. 6th to Pat Genuine on the second to Mark Stacer. And Pat Genuine on the Kiesler family 886 International is your winner in unrestricted 10 farm. Going to make a change on the sled as we get ready for light limited super stock. A brand new class for the Thumb Tractor Pulling Association in 2018. Running at 6,200. Just regular class in West Michigan. This is a huge class in western New York, down through Ohio, northern across Indiana, and up into Wisconsin. You'll find tractors of this kind all over the place. A hugely popular class. And you'll find every color represented. You'll find Alice Chalmers, you'll find International, John Deere, Deutz, Valtra, Fendt, everything. Because of the rules package that's in place. They can run 30.5 tires like the Whiskey Throttle Alice down there in the corner, or 24.5s like the Warhorse or the John Deere. Engine rules are a good fit for every brand. Every brand out there has a power plant in their inventory that can hit the points they need to. If you're diesel 315 cubic inches or less, you can be twin turbocharged. If you're 410 or less diesel, you can run an intercooler. And the max on diesel is 470 cubic inches single charger, 4-inch out exhaust, 3-inch in intake. Then the last combination that you can have is 370 cubic inch maximum one charger on alcohol. Component chassis are not allowed in light limited super. It's still the castings back there. Stock block in the head. We're going to have 2 alcohol tractors and 1 diesel. Mike Jennings will be our Whiskey Throttle Alice Chalmers, but it's not an Alice Chalmers heart that beats within this chassis. No, it's a 5.9 Cummins converted to spark ignition. They've been chasing their gremlins out of this power plant. We've had some ignition issues and some fuel leaks. The fuel leaks got found in the most spectacular way you can find a fuel leak, when it ends in a fire. But they were small fires and contained rather quickly. We hope for no such drama tonight. Bought this tractor from the Spiegelberg family out in Wisconsin. They've had their share of light limited supers over the years. The Spiegelbergs have. Their current crop includes a Massey Ferguson bodied Cummins powered tractor, and the Detonator, a Case IH MX bodied tractor running the 360 International block on alcohol, but the bodywork is not factory original Case IH. They made molds of the Case IH sheet metal and replicated it out of carbon fiber. The entire body of the Detonator is carbon fiber, and you may get a chance to see that tractor appear in the state of Michigan in August at the Armada Fair both days. The Armada Fair is part of the light limited super stock northern travel calendar that sees this class venture into New York, Ontario, Ohio, Kentucky, Michigan, and Wisconsin. We've already been witness to that class over in Canada. I believe the one of the Ohio rounds is I believe it's this coming weekend. And as we move into August, we'll see a big sweep of those light limited super stock classes move through New York, Ohio, Michigan, and then on the way to Wisconsin. In excess of $47,000 prize money available to these guys on that tour. Again, just making some weight changes on the sled. The variability in setups that they can do with this sled is the reason why you can see 300 horsepower tractors go as far as ones that make 1,000 horsepower. It all boils down to how it's set up.
Well, we're unless you've already done it and I wasn't paying attention.
No, I haven't.
We got a little bit of downtime. Explain that relatively simple looking but very complicated piece of iron.
Oh, is it ever complicated? There's changes that we can make to this machine. It's a very active, very dynamic machine. These guys are going out and finding horsepower every winter to put in front of this sled, but that sled simply cannot get any heavier than it is. If it was to be heavier, it would be easy. Well, there's presets that he can put in and start that weight box out further forward to make the whole shot tougher. The next change we can make is how fast that weight box travels. There's 2 transmissions down inside the frame rails of this sled, hook crank to crank. We don't use all the gears, we only use a small handful of them, but varying the travel speed will also affect how much pressure is brought in how early. Then it gets more complicated from there. This is a dynamic sled. It has hydraulics built into it. As that weight box moves forward, it'll hit trip switches that will push the skid pan down into the track. Depending on where those switches are, more pressure sooner or later, depending on the locations. The last adjustment is the dagger boards on the back corners. There's some dagger boards to each side that when they're extended down and that skid pan gets pushed in, we won't just scrape the dirt, we will plow it.
Absolutely. Very complicated piece of equipment. Allowed us to safely and efficiently bring these beasts to a stop. We're going to get rolling light limited super stock action. First up on the hook, Mike Jennings. The Alice Chalmers 185 called Whiskey Throttle. Not been an easy season, but looking for a good pass here today. Thanks for Whiskey Throttle. Sounded almost like a turbo boot at the end of the run. 318 and 79 for Mike Jennings. 318.79 feet.
I'm pretty happy for him with that run. It cleaned up and ran, and boy, when the skid pan actually tripped it, where we were about 220 feet down the track, it lowered the skid pan in. That engine just lugged down and started grunting. Sounded great.
Yeah, 23.2 miles an hour. Tractor just seemed to sit up on top of the dirt for that first 220 foot of the run, roughly, until that load came on, actually locking them 30.5 tires into the ground, getting all the horsepower to it. Not a bad run at the end.
Not sure if it was a boot or if it just, the ignition quit briefly and it sneezed it. I don't know. Special thanks to St. Clair County Road Commission, Sunrise Convenience Stores, Wadhams Road Animal Clinic, Jim O'Connor Auction Service, the Michigan State Police, St. Clair County Parks and Rec, as well as Michigan Caterpillar.
All right, Mike Jennings will turn down his run. When the front end came down, it shut the fuel off, so he knows there's a lot more left for Whiskey Throttle. Backing up the hook right now. Gentleman who grew up just down the road in K-Pac, but now residing up in Traverse City, Wayne Stein, in the 155 Case IH, called the Warhorse.
Round number 1 for the light limited Super Ontario. This tractor was the big winner against competition from New York, Kentucky, and Michigan. 24.5 tires for 2016. It had been on 30.5s. He feels like that tread width fits better with his power band and his gear ratios, and so far this season I'd say he's been proven correct.
Yeah, tire change working out greatly for Wayne. DT360 under the hood, converted to alcohol. 2 alcohol tractors, 1 diesel in the class. Long time pulling history in this family. Father Wayne Stein, long time competitor with the TTPA circuit. Now Wayne carrying on the heritage. Green lights. Green flags fly for the Warhorse. .58, 339.58 feet, 26 miles an hour even.
That'll bring up our lone diesel and light limited super, Paul Smoglinski Sr. out of Bad Axe, 4430 model John Deere. Now the chassis has been set up to full light limited super stock spec, but the engine is not. This is still their diesel pro stock motor. The only thing they've done is taken the 3500.
It's for sale if you want it.
Yep.
404 John Deere underneath the hood. Nathan Groh in the seat today. I think it's Nathan. We've had Justin,
Nathan. Okay.
We've had Junior, we've had Senior.
First time in the seat, so says the boss back on the scale, Sue.
Thank you, Sue.
Thanks, Sue.
The one person who will always keep us in line no matter where she's at on the grounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said before, 1 diesel in the class. This will be it. 470 cubic inch limit on the diesel side. Looking to see that bigger motor put in very soon. Nathan getting his final bit of high. Getting under the charger at the end.
Still 1 light limited to go. Throttle. Turning away a 318. And so we got 2 hot diesel trucks yet to run as well.
You want to talk?
Next generation right there.
Yep. Kind of a great thing for me. Enjoying the pull. First pull out for Junior this year, so already in love with the sport of truck and tractor pulling, which may sound great from a fan standpoint, but Lord knows this is going to cost me an awful lot of money. Mom's going, why? Well, he needs a pulling lawnmower and then a pulling pedal tractor of his own and sled. And we can use this college fund. Mike Jennings going to get towed on the track, taking advantage of motors still hot with a quick turnaround.
There's no radiator in these tractors. They run them dry block, dry head on alcohol. But alcohol burns extremely cool as far as fuels go, so it does take a lot of heat out on its own. But alcohol motors also like a fair amount of clearance on their bearings too, and you will get blow-by down past the rings and alcohol mixing with the oil. And alcohol in the oil and a big gap in the bearings, not so good.
Hearing the whiskey throttle come to life as he gets back to that sled. Only tractor here today on the 30.5 tires.
Single turbocharger, despite the dual stacks through the hood. One is the primary exhaust outlet, the other is for the wastegate.
Green lights, green flags for the whiskey throttle. Chassis completely unloading at the end. 320 in for Mike Jennings. 40 feet. Third place will go to Nathan Crow. Second, Mike Jennings. And you're with the Warhorse. One class left to go in day one of the St. Clair County 4-H and Youth Fair. Tractor pull. We'll come back to you tomorrow with truck night. But as a teaser today, we're going to bring out a couple diesel trucks to put on a show. with a bare bones Duramax chassis. 6.5.
Power somewhere north of, well, Nasty Hooker did it, and you'll see Under Pressure do this as well. They're using the Allison, so you're going to see them with the brake pedal down. The brake lights will be on. I'm Charles Posch.
And my name's Andrew Armstead.
Please have a safe journey to wherever it is that you call home. We'll see you tomorrow.